So in our last video, we got the balls spawning nicely across the field. They never spawn on top of each other. So the balls spawn randomly, but they don't spawn on top of each other. It's a nice simulation, but it's not really a game because it doesn't have any user interaction. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new object called a player ball. And he's going to be very much like a ball, but he's going to be controlled by the user, either mouse or keyboard. And we'll talk about several different options for how to do each of those. So right now I'm going to close this simulation. And I'm going to remove the extra print statements just to clean up the debugging information. And we're going to create a new sprite for our player ball. So I have paint.net. I created a field 150 by 150, then made it big enough so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to add a good sized border, like 6 pixels. I'm going to set my, let's run the thing again, just hit the balls. I believe they're blue and green, or blue and pink. Okay, blue and green. So let's make these red and dark gray, and switch the other color, make this red. I'm now going to go to my shape tool right here. I'm going to select the septagon, mostly because that gives me 7 sides and a definite pointer. And I'm going to hold the shift to get a square regular shape. And I'm going to, before I do anything else, no, actually I'll do it this way and then I'll show you. I'm going to do this wrong so I can show you fixing it. So I'm going to drag this here, and it's not quite there, so I can actually, as I'm holding shift, I can drag things out. I can rearrange them. It's a little big, so I'm going to scale it down. And because I'm holding shift, things should always move consistently. So even though I'm adjusting the height, the width is changing automatically. That looks nice and centered. Now, I want to fill this with gray, so I'm going to take and right-click on the center. That's going to fill the inside. And now I'm also going to take and get rid of the background. So I'm going to magic wand select there, and then I'm going to hit delete. Control Z. I'm going to select that area, hit delete. Same here, same here. That gets rid of it. Now it's not quite a ball, but it's close enough. It shouldn't be a huge deal. I do want to clip this down, get rid of this back edge though. So I'm going to use the magic wand select, and I'm going to select these 3 outsides, and I'm going to invert selection. So I'm selecting everything but that. So edit, invert selection. So now I'm selecting just my shape, image, crop to selection. This is how you can crop balls out of things and such like that, is highlight area and then crop to selection to bring it down. Now I want an indicator where my front is, just to make it a little easier. And I'm going to use, to do that, I'm going to use the shape tool. And I'm going to switch my tool to a triangle, equal triangle. And I'm going to draw that, nope. And I want it here, and I want to flip it around. I want to move this right to there. Maybe a little more twisted this way. And now I'm going to flood that area with red. And I can adjust the fill area with the slider. So now I have an obvious forward. This big area here is my forward. Everything else is going to shape. So I'm going to save this as player ball. .png. And that's going to get saved into my same folder. I'll detect everything else. Now let's go and create a player ball. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new Python file. So file new, file save as, and I'm going to make sure I'm in game programming, and I'm going to save it into as P player ball.py. And I'm going to increase the font so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go steal the first few lines of code from my ball demo. Except this is going to be class player ball. And I'd like to inherit all these nice functions like ball collide or get distance and move and wall collide. They're a good starting point for my player ball. So I'm going to take and inherit from ball. So basically what's going to happen now is I only can get everything from ball. I do have to import it just like I import anything. So from ball import star. And then we're going to take and make an init. So def init. And it's going to take only a self, a max speed, which we'll talk about later, and a start position. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to explicitly call the ball's init function with self passes the first argument explicitly because I'm going to pass this player ball and create into the ball initializer. Player ball.png and start pause. And we're going to close that quotes, and that looks good. I'm going to set max speed equal to 4 by default and equal to 0, 0. Now let's go back to our ball demo, and let's add a player ball. And I'm going to remove this first ball creation to make sure I get to use all the other stuff. So player is equal to player ball 4, comma, and let's do 900 divided by 2, comma, 700 divided by 2 to myself right in the center of the screen. I can put myself anywhere. I'm just going to start at the center there. Yep. And we have to import player ball. So I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate that line and add player to be in this word. And we are going to blip myself. So I'm going to duplicate that and make this player and player. And so I get free collision stuff. I can actually put my player in as the first ball. So I'm going to move this into here. So my first ball is always going to be a player. I'm going to move this above this. And I'm going to put player in there. Now, when I create my game, my player gets added, and he keeps spawning back and forth. And the reason that is because he is not getting placed. Why is that happening? Oh, let's get rid of that. Let's try again. Oh, we're still getting weird movements happening. Let's go to my thing. Oh, I need to pass in my speed, which the default speed for the player is going to be 0, 0. We'll set his actual speeds, his max speed later, but right now we're just going to set him and start there. I just passed the position into the speed. So now my player starts there, and he reacts just like normal. Now, in the lecture in class, we did mouse first, but we're actually going to do keyboard first this time. So everything else looks good. He's getting himself placed in nicely. Now, he's not quite centered because we have some offset that hits the upper left-hand corner is in the center screen. So if we look here, the center is right here. There. So what we want to do now is add keyboard controls. I'll do that in the next video.